going into that game, they felt different about Dre. The trust factor was on a higher number because this transgression had not happened. And what I love, I thought I was living a lie a couple of days ago. I asked you, Dibbs and Willard, about, is it just me? Am I living a lie? If I think the Warriors are trying to do everything they can as a team to get into the play-in, we see Steph run like a youthful kid on the golf course. He's a competitor. And Steiny, the world that I think these athletes live in, Steph wants a shot. They want a shot. Okay, hey, this is not how we drew it up, but we're going to try to take this thing as seriously as we can, and we're trying to get into the 10th spot to play in and see what happens. We don't do it. We know we put our best foot forward. So you go into that game knowing you're down a soldier in regard to Jonathan Kuminga. You're on a back-to-back. You're older. So, Steiny, to your question, I think this was the straw that broke the camel's back, because he, in that moment where they're already shorthanded, we got 11 games left. You give us all this diddly squat about you've changed, you've apologized, you're sorry, and to me, he stabbed them all in the back. So now here you come with what you just said. That changed it all. And now we're hearing the word unforgivable. So, Steiny, I think Steph was showing emotion and tears because he knows what's upon him. This is going to be one of the biggest off seasons, I believe, since he's been here in regard to change and uncomfortable transactions. So Curry's focused, I believe, on, trying to get the playoff spot and trying to get the win that night. He tries to intervene, and Dre disrespects him like he doesn't even see him. And now, Steiny, I tell you, the team is still focused to try to make it. But when you hear unforgivable, you see Curry weeping. Dude, I just really believe, how do you come back from that? I don't think you can. And I'm being real with you. Has anybody in your life ever used the word unforgivable? Because in my life, a couple times, it's over. You can't come back from that. That's how I read it. That's how I read it.
It's as strong a word.
He apologized, Steve. Thanks for sharing that. But that's the little boy that cried. Steiny, did you hear Coach Kerr say, had they lost this, it would have been greater? You know what I mean? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that, to me, the outcome, whether they lose or win, it might have changed the dynamic a little. But the most important part was he got ejected. How the team reacted after that turned out to be a super positive, which is encouraging to me. My buddy texted me this yesterday. No, somebody else. No, actually, it was Harry. Curry, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, Kuminga, Trace Jackson-Davis.
So the hell with Harry.
That doesn't sound too bad to me. That's what he said.
All right.
Now that lineup doesn't have Draymond Green in it. But there's also the dynamic of Klay Thompson and the big three. Klay Thompson this year has started terribly. We know Klay Thompson. We've watched him his whole career. He got off to a bad start. Whispers about maybe bring him off the bench.
Next question.
We've watched him for 12 years. We knew and we know that was going to be a challenge for him. Klay's very sensitive. We know that. He basically said, it's hard. It's going to be hard for me. But he took us through the process.
Yes, he did.
Then he started to embrace it. And now we're 10 games left in the season, and Klay Thompson has had a great year in terms of where he's gone from the start of the year to where he's gone to now, buying in, being productive, doing the best he can. And just I don't know, this is the idea that Klay would have to walk this year after he kind of I get it, he's not the same player. But the idea that Klay might have to walk this year after going through the process that he went through this year, and Draymond still, I don't know, that just rubs me the wrong way.
I feel that. It doesn't sound fair is what you're saying.
If somebody offers Klay $32 million a year and he takes it, I think Warrior fans would be like, we get it. But it wouldn't hurt any less if Klay's not here. And here's the other thing. I start thinking about with this team. if Clay doesn't come back, and I'm spitballing big picture stuff and join in at 888-957-9570. If Clay walks and Looney's not on the team next year, which is possible, can you really do that to Steph? Bring Steph back with just Draymond and Wiggins and 5 or 6 young guys.
No, I don't
you can't ask Steph to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's got to walk into the gym and see Clay and see Looney and see guys that he's played with at least half the team for a while. You can't ask Steph to all of a sudden look in that locker room and see it's just me, Dre, Kuminga, and a bunch of young guys. Like, that's what you can't do to Steph Curry.
And that's not how anybody envisioned the ending or the final chapter, per se. But, man, I feel like there's a subliminal in the fact that Coach Kerr feels so open after the game. Again, he said he deserved it. But, Steiny, it feels like finally nobody's walking on eggshells. Now, I will say this because I touched on it yesterday, and, it is what it is. But I kind of wish the unforgivable was when he hit a teammate. Well, but that's neither here nor there.
That's a fair point,
but hearing Coach Kerr say that, Steiny, I don't know basketball-wise and future-wise how that could be a good thing moving forward.
And
I don't.
You are right on the money. A year and a half ago, Draymond Green punched a teammate, just decked him. That wasn't unforgivable. And then you just kind of look at it, okay, got ejected from a game in April or March. So what? Like, why was that? I'm asking Warrior fans, why was everything up until Wednesday that Draymond has done, Draymond being Draymond, he's a competitor, it's unacceptable. We all know it's unacceptable. We all know he can't do it. But why was yesterday the one that was unforgivable?
Because Kuminga wasn't in there. It was a back-to-back. They were shorthanded. It was a good team with a great home record and the season on the line. That honestly, Matt, that's why I feel like the reaction is what it is. Like, you couldn't put us before you. You couldn't put the team before yourself. Steiny, had they been fully loaded and Kuminga was there and it wasn't a back-to-back, I'm wondering if this is anything. I think the fact that the stakes were where they were at, no Kuminga, back-to-back, season in the balance, no room for error, and you chose this night to get ran.
Do Warriors fans believe that what happened Wednesday is different than what has happened up until this point? Because I guess what I'm saying is that's the way I'm starting to feel. If you want to say it's a bridge too far, or what was the phrase you used? Last straw, straw that broke the camel's back. I cannot sit here and say, no, you're wrong about that. Like, that's kind of the way it feels to me after hearing Steve Kerr talking yesterday. I think there's going to be changes at the end of the year, and I'm starting to think that Draymond Green may have become priority number one to move off of.